Hey guys, Mrhappy here, and today I want to do a very special video. I just needed some footage, so we're just going to roll some old Primal footage. I'm sure if you've watched most of my videos, you've seen some of this Primal footage a million times before, but that's really just an underlying point that I just want to lay there. I want something that's 8-man, that's big party content, available on the screen when we discuss this, because this is actually a point that I missed. Now, some of you may remember I did do a video about the Famitsu interview that was with Yoshi-P maybe a week ago. I did the videos, maybe less, a little bit, something like that. But I found another translation of it. Somebody linked it to me in my stream, and they were talking about something specifically that I wasn't actually aware of until today. So that's why I'm making the video now and didn't make it before. So in the Famitsu interview, there's a section where there's the question, will party content be divided up by light party and full party content? Yoshi answers, apart from the Crystal Tower, which is alliance content, we plan for most endgame content to be focused on the unit of 8 players. For example, gathering elegant homestones, and that's for you, Vinir and Bayonne, I'm never going to hear the end of it, is good for a light party, but I feel like 8 players is the smallest unit that should take on strong bosses. Yoshida then got the question asked to him, any particular reason you feel that way? And Yoshi-P answers, yes, we want to make sure that there is space in the party for at least 2 people of each role. Very, very interesting here. 4 to 6 players is a number which has been used frequently in recent MMOs, but I stuck with the figure of 8 people since back in the design stage for the aforementioned reasons. You can have 2 of each of a healer, tank, and 4 DPS in the present situation. This sentence is the one in particular that people have asked my opinion about. Once we add the hybrid role, which serves multiple roles, you'll be able to have 2 players from each role for a total of 8 people. Now, that is extremely interesting because a lot of people have been wondering how could they implement half of the Final Fantasy jobs unless there's some sort of hybrid or niche role that they can fill. I mean, you can look at that in anything like a time mage. Sure, a time mage could have things that make you cast faster, can make enemies cast slower, can reduce movement speed. They could maybe rewind somebody, like a party member's cooldowns or something like that. They could do all those cool things, but in the end, they have to look at the Holy Trinity, tank, healer, or DPS. And where would a time mage fit into that? What about a Geomancer? They're focused on a lot of using the elements, using the earth below them, using elements to make weapons and make wards that reduce damage. I mean, if you look at Final Fantasy XI, it's a perfect example. You have to, what about a dancer that could be a melee healer? They physically attack and they use their technique points to heal nearby allies, but they'd still have to be filling a role. And now we sort of get a hint here that in the future, content will be scaled, I guess. It will be balanced around this idea of having hybrid roles. Now, there's so many things I could say about this, so this video will probably drag on a little bit longer than I want it to, just because there's so much you can interpret this as. Now, clearly, this is nothing that's planned for anytime soon. First of all, a hybrid role. I wouldn't expect to see this for 2 years. About 21 months from now, approximately, I would expect to see an actual hybrid role be brought into the game. Maybe in the coming 6 to 9 months, we'll get more solid information about what they're planning. I'd at least hope probably by the Fan Festival of next year, we'll have some more solid information about Yoshi-P's plans for the quote-unquote hybrid role. If he even meant to drop this on purpose. I mean, the closest drop we've gotten to the hybrid role prior to this was that in the future we may see 2 jobs leading into 1 job, which could be the hybrid role. Now, that is just, it's so hard to even think about how that hybrid role is going to work in the end. I can't even begin to imagine how they would do it, but it just sounds like it's going to be jobs that fill multiple roles. Like, the thing is here, there are certain hybrid roles I can't imagine them trying to fill. I imagine every hybrid role that those 2 spaces are filled for will have a DPS component to them. You'll either have a tanky DPS, a DPS caster, like a melee range caster. So he can cast spells from range, but he also does the most damage from close range. So they're very able to do multiple things. Or then you can have a melee DPS who does healers, like dancers, or you could have a support. You could actually implement the support with things like this, with these hybrid roles. You could have a DPS that's more focused on supporting the other DPS and the rest of the party. So something like a bard, but much more niche, something much more transparent that's what they're meant to do. They could even change bard into a hybrid role at some point and give them the ability to cast songs that regenerate HP and things like that. There's so many ways that this hybrid role thing could go. And I'm almost upset that he dropped this term on us so early in the game's development. I mean, it's only been 4 months since the game came out. Today's December 12th, and right now, as I'm recording this, it's December 12th. You may see this on another day, but the video is posted December 12th. I almost feel like too early to say something like that and get everyone excited, hopes up, people, you know, going to the forums, imagining things, coming up with ideas. But at the same time, that's awesome, because that stimulates player creativity and that stimulates excitement. And honestly, as you can tell, I'm very excited about the idea. I would gladly play a hybrid role if it was offered to me, if the job in turn was actually fun. Sure, the idea of a hybrid role, something that does something, doesn't do it as well as everybody else, but they also have some sort of niche role that they fill. I know on the surface that doesn't seem fun, but it opens up the opportunity for them to really delve into the Final Fantasy job system and look at all the jobs they could possibly add into the future. I mean, people were trying to figure out, how could Thief fit? How could Dark Knight fit? Where would Samurai fit? Where would Ninja fit? And those had more clear-cut answers. A Ninja could clearly be a DPS. A Samurai could be a tank or a DPS. A Dark Knight could be a tank or a DPS as well. A Thief would probably stick to a DPS. I mean, there were people coming up with crazy ideas. Would Beastmaster still be using an axe? Would they not just be a ranged DPS with a pet, maybe, perhaps, as opposed to being a physical DPS? Would we ever see a ranger? What is Corsair the next job? So many people coming up with these ideas because they're enthralled with the Final Fantasy job system. It is a system of the games that generally is related to the games. The whole job system being added to Final Fantasy XII International is what made the game so revered over, like, people who weren't fans of Final Fantasy XII revered the international version, and people who were fans of 12 welcomed it because it's a classic system that's proven to work in Final Fantasy games. And with the MMO format, we were just, how would it work? We were wondering. It's not like 11 where you can just make a job because it seems cool, even if it doesn't necessarily fill a specific role. If people enjoy it, that's all that matters. But this, every job needs to fill a specific role because everything is party-based. Partying with others is everything, and you need to be able to make sure that people aren't being left out because they like a specific job over somebody else, which is what they're doing with Warrior in 2.1. They're making it so people aren't so afraid to bring a Warrior into Coil. Despite Warrior being able to do Coil just fine now, they just want Warrior to catch up, to be more in line with Paladin so more people feel safe playing it. Now, I could go on forever, but this recording's already at like almost 8 minutes by the time that I'm actually looking at it right now. I'm going to be talking about this a lot over the course of the next few days before 2.1 comes out. I've been streaming every day up to the launch of 2.1, so I'm definitely planning on continuing that until 2.1 launches, at which point I'll probably cut it down a little bit, still stream a lot, but, you know, I'm just excited. I'm excited to hear more about this. See, these are the kind of things that I'm not necessarily excited to see them in action. I'm excited to learn more about this kind of thing, how they're planning on implementing it, when they're planning on implementing it, what it's going to mean for the future of the game itself, because that's what you have to look into when you play an MMO. You got to look into the future of the game, because when you play an MMO, for the most part, people are intending to invest a great deal of their time to it. And knowing the future of the game is always good when you're investing your time. That would, in any case, knowing the future is good if you're planning on investing your time into something. So overall, I'm excited. I would love to see some really niche jobs like Time Mage, Geomancer, Rune Fencer. I'm naming some from 11, but of course you could have things like a Necromancer. You could have a Dark Knight, which is a tanky DPS. You could have just anything that are like that. I'm just excited to see what unique jobs we see, because now I don't think we're going to see jobs we were expecting at all. Now I think we're going to see, other than Red Mage, I think we will see jobs that we just weren't expecting to see, and in iterations we weren't expecting to see. A lot of originality, but at the same time, all the same jobs that we all know and love from the previous Final Fantasy series. So what do you guys think? Are you guys excited for the idea of a hybrid role? Even if it's nowhere in the near future, are you guys excited for a hybrid role, which could give you some more niche roles to fill and some more unique gameplay experience experiences. Let me know in the comments below. I'll definitely be reading those. If you enjoyed this video, please like, favorite, subscribe, and share for more Final Fantasy XIV information and videos. Of course, follow me on Facebook and Twitter as well. You can get regular updates about when I'm doing videos. New videos are coming out. You can get first updates there if you don't notice them maybe on YouTube. And also be sure to follow me on Twitch. I will be streaming every day up to the launch of 2.1. And on top of that, of course, I will be streaming pretty much after that too. So what do you know? So just come by, be sure to have some fun, talk. You can shoot me a few questions, whatever you want to do. Just do with that information what you will. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and hope you're ready. 2 days until Live Letter 11, so I'm excited. Hope you are too. I'll talk to you guys then. All right, take care.